GMFB, we know you're out there watching us, of course, on a Tuesday. We've got the parade for the Chiefs tomorrow, coverage beginning at noon Eastern on NFL Network. Will Self is out in the newsroom in Culver City to keep us updated on everything NFL 24/7.
Absolutely, Kay. Well, quarterback Tom Brady, that's where we start. Sets social media ablaze with a photo of himself walking into or out of Gillette Stadium. Either way, the speculation led to some people thinking he was sending a message about his future. Well, as we now know, turns out Brady was just pitching something in a Super Bowl commercial. Well, Brady did take part in the Super Bowl pregame ceremonies honoring the NFL's 100 team. TB12 set to be a free agent in March. He spoke to Westwood One Sports and said he's talked to the Patriots about his future.
You know, we've always had a great relationship, and we always will. It's not much more to say other than that. There's a lot, again, that everyone needs to take some time to evaluate where they're at and the decisions they need to make moving forward. And the Patriots will do that. Every team will do that. The players who have the opportunity to be free agents will do that. And then when the time's right, I guess in 6 weeks from now, you know, everyone will be able to make their decisions.
A lot of intrigue until then. Meanwhile, to quote the great baseball philosopher Yogi Berra, unfortunately, it was deja vu all over again for Niners head coach Kyle Shanahan. He watched another lead slip away in the Super Bowl. This time, the Chiefs rallying back from a 10-point deficit in the fourth quarter. But Shanahan knows this team will bounce back stronger than ever.
We'll lick our wounds. We'll get over this. We'll be fired up for next year. We've got a lot of people coming back. I think we surprised a lot of people this year. We knew we had a good team, and you know, I'm very proud of the guys and how much better they got throughout this year, and expect to get almost all these guys back and plan on adding a few more. So we're going to rest a little bit, get over the some, but we'll be very fired up for next year.
And tight end George Kittle saying it was brutal to see the emotion from Shanahan after the game, and as we well know, it's very hard to repeat and go back to the Super Bowl. The 49ers also have some looming decisions with extensions to DeForest Buckner and Kittle, among others.
Thank you so much. Well, yeah, there's no denying how creative the offensive mind of Kyle Shanahan is. Fourth in the league in yards per game, second in points per game throughout the regular season. But you have to face the facts here. It's just what it is. He's part of losing 2 double-digit leads in the fourth quarter in Super Bowls. He's been outscored 42-zip in the fourth quarter the 2 times that he's been there. Are these the type of losses, because they are on the biggest stage where however many million are watching, more than they are voting in America, that could stick with him throughout his entire young career? I
say no. You think about it. He's his 3rd year as a head coach with the San Francisco 49ers. And he went from 4-12 to a Super Bowl. So I get it. We can be critical. We can say when he was an OC and the 28-3, should have ran the ball more with Devontae Freeman in that Super Bowl. Maybe they don't lose to the Patriots. Even in this game, you can say, well, I mean, how do you guys abandon the run? If you look at the highlights, he had to pass the ball. And I know we're going to talk a little bit about time management, but just think about this for a second. If we want to be critical of him in the fourth quarter, in December alone, he had fourth quarter comeback wins versus the Saints, Rams, and Seahawks to wrap up the NFC West and then get that #1 seed. So it's not like he freezes up in moments during the year. The person who froze up was not Kyle Shanahan. It was Jimmy Garoppolo. And I hate to do that, guys. Listen, I'm the one guy that sticks up for players. I'm an apologist for guys all the time. But when you're paying a dude that much money, almost in the words of Frank Clark, what'd you say, Kyle? This game was about 3rd and 15 and 3rd and 10. On the 3rd and 10, he missed this ball right here. And if you're getting paid that much money, you got to make it. This is the one where you got to put it on the money. Clean pocket. He didn't get hit. He didn't go down. You got to make this throw. And this solves everything, because then you extend the lead and you're perfectly fine. And we're not even questioning this fourth quarter. If you look at Jimmy Garoppolo's fourth quarter numbers, it was despicable. The Chiefs brought blitzes, which means you can't run into a blitz. So for everybody to say, well, he should have ran the ball. Okay, and then you get stuffed. And then the clock really evaporates. So for me, it's not necessarily on Kyle Shanahan. It's more on Jimmy Garoppolo proving that he's worth every dollar.
That's a very nuanced take, and it's a fair take.
It's a football take. That's what it is.
It's a football take. The problem is not everyone's going to take the nuanced take. They're going to look at the numbers, and Kyle Shanahan's going to have to deal with this. He's going to wear this like a wreath around his neck. You look at these fourth quarters in the Super Bowl, they've been outscored 46-0 in his 2 Super Bowls as an offensive coordinator and as a head coach. And on Sunday, it was the fourth quarter. It happened all over again. It's crazy. Here's Kyle Shanahan's last 7 career drives in the fourth quarter. 3 plays fumble, 6 plays punt, 4 plays punt, 5 plays punt, 3 plays punt, 7 plays turnover on downs, 2 plays interception. You wear that.
7 possessions in the fourth quarter, no points.
Fumble, punt, turnover downs, interception. From an offensive guru and a genius, you could say it's not his fault. You could say it's Jimmy's fault. You wear it. It's what it is. And this is going to be a long offseason for the 49ers. For all the great they had this season, they were up by 10 points with 6 minutes and 30 seconds left in the Super Bowl, and they couldn't finish the job. And for Kyle Shanahan, it's the second time it's happened in 5 years. My heart goes out to him. He's a great, great coach and a savant when it comes to offense. But this is going to be his legacy until he gets a chance to reverse it.
100% it is. And if we say numbers don't lie for the players, we say it for the coaches too. I look at Matt Nagy, who's an Andy Reid disciple, and every one of his play cards, he writes the words, be you. For the big moments when he tenses up, be you. I'm not sure Shanahan does that. I'm not sure he's himself in the big moments. And there's a lot of evidence to prove it. Guys, the end of the first half, he had a lot of excuses afterwards about we didn't want to leave too much time for them. I think it was nonsense. Not calling timeouts while the Chiefs had the ball. And I'm not the only one. The smoking gun, as far as I'm concerned, is the shot of his own GM in the booth screaming, timeout, time. Of course, everyone in the stadium was doing it. And I think Shanahan in his heart knows he should have. And I think afterwards he tried his best to explain himself, but I think it amounted to nothing. In the fourth quarter, guys, the Tyreek play happens. The 3rd and 15. A lightning struck. The Niners are still winning. They're winning the game 20-17. They get the ball. Raheem Mostert runs for 5 yards. It's 2nd and 5. You're cruising. Pass, out. That is when the BU needs to happen. Against the Packers, they, on their first touchdown drive, ran a trap play on 3rd and 8. Screw it, because we're the Niners, and that's us. We're going to be us, BU. Nate, you're talking about what he's done in December? December ain't the soup. Nothing is. He's been there twice, 7 drives in the fourth quarter, no points. We can't give him the benefit of the doubt because we like him anymore. We got a job to do. And in the fourth quarter, it doesn't appear like he's very good at doing his in the Super Bowl.
Kyle, you didn't mention Jimmy name once.
It's Jimmy's too. Listen to me. You handle Jimmy. I think it's Jimmy, and I think it's both of them.
28-3 creeped into his head in the real pressure
maybe
of these games.
I think on the sideline, I don't think he's thinking about being with the Falcons Patriots, but I'm not a psychiatrist. There might be scar tissue.
Can I raise my hand, come off the top rope on this?
Go ahead.
You're the best defense in the league. We're hearing about Bosa, Buckner, and Armstead. They can't be stopped. They can't be stopped. You guys have a 10-point cushion with 6 minutes left in the Super Bowl. Maybe you could make a stop. Maybe if that's the strength of your team, it shouldn't all of a sudden rely on your quarterback.
How about they held Mahomes at 10 points until 6 minutes left? That's pretty good.
Hey, your quarterback hasn't been the star. All of a sudden, we're looking at Garoppolo saying, hey, go win the game for us. Their season has been based on their defensive line, and they could not get to Mahomes in the last 10 minutes of this game, and Mahomes did his thing. Great. I love it that the first 3 quarters they did their job. That's fine. Hey, at the end of the game, how about make a stop? Hey, Richard Sherman, how about you not get burned by Sammy Watkins? Hey, Tyreek Hill, he's running loose on all that stuff. So you could make a million arguments, point a million things, but for all the talk we did about this vaunted defense, they didn't exactly have their best moments in the big spot either.
You're right.
Well said. I think we all agree Kyle Shanahan is going to wear this, whether he deserves it or not. It's going to be the narrative. The one thing I will say is that I saw a living, breathing, Hawaiian shirt-wearing man on the other side of the field show us that you can change the narrative down the line. So Kyle Shanahan can hopefully see that it is never too late to change what your legacy or your narrative is at any given point. We've got a really cool thing going on Amazon, guys, we want to tell you about. It's Amazon and NFL Films, and it's an